What's up, guys? Iceman here.
Welcome to the Diablo 4 Research Institution. I'm your host, Professor Iceman. Appreciate you guys coming by. Like this video if you will. Hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe to the page and hit the bell so you're notified next time I post a video. And blessings to my channel members and patrons. Links in the description below. So, I have altered my droid. Now the thing is, I don't really want to play the droid. I want to play my necromancer, who is now level 27, and she's been owning shit. A summoner at that, which I really wanted to play. But with that being said, I still haven't completed the level 50 capstone dungeon, alright? I got my little tail handed to me, not gonna lie. I was a storm droid, I made it all the way to the boss, so I killed the Revenant Knights, I destroyed the 4 bosses, I killed all the enemies, and then I went to the final boss and he kicked my ass. And I only tried that once, but I know that my build is very lackluster because I didn't use a single aspect from the dungeons. I've just been very, very cheap. I've always been cheap in everything that I do, in real life and in Diablo. So I just love saving shit, alright? So I haven't imprinted a single aspect from the dungeons onto my gear. And my gear is quite lackluster, but what I did is I went into Grizzly Rage build. I phased into that. I totally refunded all my Paragon and all my skills. I only have 1 Paragon point. And I redid it. So, partly because I found this axe. Marauder Axe of the Rampaging Werebeast. Where the duration of Grizzly Rage is increased by 2 seconds. And that's a very low roll, unfortunately. The range was 1 to 5, but 2's better than nothing. In addition, critical strikes while Grizzly Rage is active increase your critical strike damage by 10% for the duration. So I have that synergy for a Grizzly build. I also have these gloves, where Pulverize is now also an Earth skill. After casting Pulverize, Tectonic Spikes continue to deal 200 damage over 2 seconds. So these are kind of low level. I mean, these gloves are only level 16. I should probably switch it out. I should probably imprint the dungeon aspect onto one of these pieces of gear that have this same effect. But I haven't felt like doing that yet. I've been too damn cheap. And then I have this nice armor, Sovereign Mail of the Crowded Sage. You heal for 23 life per second for each close enemy, up to 116 life per second. But this armor might actually be better, where damaging an elite enemy grants you a barrier absorbing up to 810 damage for 10 seconds. This effect can only happen once every 30 seconds. And 810 damage is a lot for me, because my max life is only 1154. But let me show you what the playstyle is like. I'm just kind of now getting familiar with it. I'm really thinking about bailing on this and just going back to my Necromancer, so stay tuned for videos on the Necromancer. It's been a damn good time. I love the Necromancer. I love having my homies follow me around. I love having the Skeletal Mages. But check this out. I mean, this is pretty cool. Oh my god! Wow! I haven't tested it out outside of the Capstone Dungeon. But oh my god! I mean, just the effects are awesome. But as you can see, the damage, as cool as it looks, it's actually very lackluster, unfortunately. As much as it pains for me to say it. So this guy's lacking in his physical damage. In terms of survivability, I mean, check this out. He's getting swatted and it barely even hurts right now. I did, however, die in the Capstone Dungeon while fighting those 4 bosses after you kill the Revenant Knights. The battle, I kid you not, was going on for about 10 freaking minutes, alright? And they would, like, heal themselves slowly, so I could barely damage them faster than they could heal themselves. And of course, they'd run away and all that, and I kept surviving. I would use my Blood Howl. Here's Blood Howl, it heals me, and it also gains me some Spirit. It only has a 12.7 second cooldown, where you shapeshift into a werewolf and howl furiously, healing for 23.5% of your maximum life. And here's Debilitating Roar. You see how much this guy was damaging me right there? I'll cast this, and now watch this. Boom! Barely even hurt. It knocked his ass to the ground, though. Yeah, Debilitating Roar is awesome, but now it's probably worn off. I think. Yeah, I think it's worn off. So let me show you what that does. An awesome skill. But I haven't looked into a single build online. I've been taking the road less traveled, if you will. The spiritual journey. I have refused a few rushes and the capstone dungeon. I'm just trying to take this shit slow and really embrace it, because there is something to be had. There's a lot to be had. In fact, I think there's far more to be had in taking the road less traveled and in taking the spiritual journey than just getting your ass rushed and racing through all the game and just trying to get to the end game and top tier stuff, you know? Because there's so much to be had in the journey in itself. In fact, there might be more in the journey than there is in the destination. It's so rewarding, and you get a feel for it. It's like the Force. It's like you start learning the Force. You learn. You can slowly take in how this has changed your build, and how you finally learn this skill, and this has changed your build, and just those really minor nuances you can really take in when you take your time and you go the route less traveled. So that's kind of why I like to do this, and it's much more lasting, I think. The joy in playing, but nonetheless, I mean, play the way you will, obviously. But as I mentioned, I just haven't really looked at any builds, and I probably will, because this druid really sucks big you-know-what. Alright, so I probably will look into a build, but nonetheless, he's using Earthen Bulwark, which is a very nice defensive skill. He's using Blood Howl, which, as mentioned, only has a 12.77 second cooldown. It is a wolf skill, but that's fine. Where you shapeshift into a werewolf and howl furiously, healing you for 23.5% of your maximum life. And a modifier is that kills reduce the cooldown of Blood Howl by 1 second. So if you're smothering enemies, you're going to constantly be refreshing that to where you can just use it all the time. Maybe I could kill a couple enemies here and showcase that. I mean, look at the cooldown on Blood Howl. Nope, can't use it now because I'm in Grizzly Rage. That's fine. So yeah, Grizzly Rage really limits you to just a couple skills, which is something that I don't really like about this build. And I know that endgame, you're kind of striving to always be in Grizzly Rage form. So you're basically just using these 3 attacks, or 2 attacks rather, and 1 roar. It is quite powerful, it has a cool visual, but I was looking for a little bit more variety, which I think is why I didn't go the Grizzly route initially. I went Storm build. Which actually did better in the Capstone Dungeon, surprisingly, from this Grizzly Rage build. Because I made it to the final boss with the Storm build in the Capstone level 50 dungeon, and with this Grizzly Rage build, I, as mentioned, died on the first set of 4 bosses that you fight after the Revenant Knights. But I mean, it's been a pretty good time, and I'm definitely not going to abandon this character. I'm guessing I'm going to look into a guide online and just see what people are using, because I'm more interested in my Necromancer right now, but I would like to have this guy be adequate at least. And it probably starts with the fact that I have to imprint some stuff on my gear. Because who really does that? Who doesn't imprint shit on their gear when they're level 50, you know what I mean? I don't have to be that much of a cheap ass. It's time to use some of those goodies that I found, you know? But I mean, yeah, the visuals are awesome with this guy. I mean, look at this. Oh my god! Yeah, when you want it to be, it's godly AF. In terms of survivability. But I think what I need to do, as much as I hate to say it, is I'm going to have to spec out of Blood Howl and maybe have another offensive skill. Maybe have Poison Creeper. I do have a nice legendary that modifies your werebear skills when you have enemies poisoned around you, where you'll do a lot more damage to them. So that would be a great synergy with Poison Creeper. Maybe Hurricane, but my experience is Hurricane, the DPS of it really sucks. But there are aspects of it that could be useful, like how it makes enemies vulnerable. I think up to a 15% chance of something that just keeps ticking. So if I can find some synergies in the skill tree, where in werebear form or whatever you do more damage to vulnerable enemies, that might be the way to go as well. So stay tuned for videos on that. Let me know where you are right now in Diablo 4. Have you been enjoying your journey? What's your favorite character and build thus far? Again, stay tuned for some videos on my Necromancer. I think I'm going to be making those next. She's level 27 as mentioned, and she's been a damn good time. I really wanted to have a summoner, which is partly why I made the Druid. I was being overly optimistic, and I knew it. I knew that it was very likely the Druid wasn't going to have a good summon build. But I was just hoping for the best. And it turns out it just doesn't really seem that that's the case. Your summon build as a Druid, they pretty much enhance your damage, and their damage is kind of ass from what I've seen. Whereas the Necromancer, I think there's a lot more potential. You have all the warriors, you have the mages, and you have the golem. So I'm really been enjoying the journey on the Necromancer. But appreciate you guys. Once again, if you will, like this video, subscribe to the page, hit the bell so you're notified next time I post. And I have been posting daily, so it's been a damn good time. Really appreciate your support so far. This channel has been growing pretty damn fast, and I've been quite pleased with that. So I'll talk to you guys later. Peace be with you.